טוב להודות לשם, טוב להודות לשם, ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לשם, טוב להודות לשם, ולזמר לשמך עליון. יעני הגיד בבוקר, בוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר, בוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. אשרי יושבי ביתך, אשרי יושבי ביתך.
You guys don't want to stop, do ya? So there's still a little more to go. So we always say we do that for a couple reasons. One is because just energy, you know, and part of Shabbat is just pure joy. It should be, you know, as much as you can get to. So we say we do it for that reason. We do it because the Psalms are supposed to lift us up and inspire us, and not just in our seats, but if we feel like it, if we can, to really get up and pray with our whole selves and do what we call ecstatic worship, part of our tradition going back, you know, forever. But the other reason is so everyone gets their spilkies out, you know, and now everyone can relax, take a breath, and be led in prayer by this amazing young person. And so if everyone would turn now to page 6, and Myles is going to transition us from this sort of warm-up and kind of getting used to being here and being together to really engaging in soulful prayer with one another. So page 6, you ready, Myles? Here we go.
Yitkada v'yitkada shomer rabba v'amad divrahute v'chmahute v'hai elonu v'yomer Ufhayde de Hope Yisrael Bagala Bagala Uizman Kariv Vimeru Amen Yeheshme Rabba Mevorach Ve'amim Ve'omaya Yitbarach V'yishtapach V'yitpar V'yitraman V'yitnaseh Yitada, Yithaleh, Hello, Shemer Nikut Shabarehu, Levam Mikobur Shamav Shirata, Tusbahata Venechemata, Tami Ram Be'alma, Vimeru Amen.
So you'll see as we go through the service, Myles has done something really extraordinary. He reached out to family members. Many of you are here, some of you are streaming, and just asked them to insert their own brand of wisdom into this service. You know, a lot of times defined by the theme of the prayer, but Myles just asked his family that he wanted your voices in this service, and your heart and your soul and your brain. So you'll see as we go along the kavanot that are interspersed throughout this Siddur and this service that Myles is going to read out loud, come from people who you've learned a lot from and who learn a lot from you, right? So let's hear the first one.
Communal prayer has always been an aspect of Judaism, strengthening the sense of both religion and community. The practice is so important that during times of religious and cultural persecution throughout history, secret synagogues emerged where Jews could gather to pray and keep their people connected. One of the mitzvahs of a bar mitzvah is that it's a call to prayer, bringing together congregation, family, and friends in a celebration of history, religion, and community. Please rise as we call each other to prayer at the Baruch Hu.
It's perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't want to be right after this is really long.
It's fine.
Often view our hard times as negative or bad. But without darkness, there can be no light. When we have dark times in our lives, it adds so much more meaning to the happy ones. And this is true with humans too. Without darkness, stars can't shine. Without hard times, an individual does not have room to grow and become better. So the next time you go through a hard time, remember that the highest points of joy in your life will not be memorable without them. And remember that you'll come out as a better human.
Amen. Read the prayer. Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or v'rei hoshet, oseh shalom v'rei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha barachamim, utuvo mekedesh bechol tamid ma'aseh v'reshit, ma'arabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam behokma asita, al haaretz kinenecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al sharat maseh yadecha, ve'al merei orsha asita, baruch ha'sela, baruch atah Adonai yotzer hamarot. Together, in some special way, every person completes the universe. If I do not play my part, I endure the pattern of all existence. The same stream of life that runs my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythm measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth and numerous blades of grass, embraces tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and death. In ebb and flow, I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life. My pride is from the life throb of ages dancing my blood this moment. When I think of love, I think of warmth, adoration, Endless smiles, contentment, butterflies in my stomach. As Mahatma Gandhi said, where there is love, there is life.
True.
phrase in traditional U.S. motto, E pluribus unum, translates to, out of many, one or one for many. A translation in English, there can be slightly different interpretations. To me, the essence is that while we are individuals, we can accomplish so much more together and are quite similar in so many more ways than we recognize we are one human race. Please join me in chanting the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. V'hom nafsheha, v'hom yodeha, v'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ele, asher anavhi b'tzareha, hayom alavavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibartam, v'shivteha b'vetecha, uvekteha b'derech, ushok b'ha v'kumecha, Ushtam le'od ayadecha, ve'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'v'yisharecha. L'man tizkaru v'yasitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim l'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, L'hiyot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Take to heart these words which I command you this day. Teach them diligently to your children. Speak of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you arise. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as symbols between your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Remember to do all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am your God who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your God. The need for freedom is something we all have in common. When people enslave, colonize, abuse, or commit genocide, they often delude themselves into believing their victims are lesser humans or even non-humans. Only then can you so pitifully rationalize their atrocities. As Jews, not even a century removed from the Holocaust, we must always stand up for those denied freedom, and doubly so when it is done in our name. because freedom is essential to humanity. The concept of freedom itself is also distorted by those who would seek to oppress and indoctrinate others. Freedom to choose among exploitative bosses and landlords or among greedy insurers. Freedom to sell more guns than there are people. Freedom to work as a young child. Freedom to be a billionaire in a world of poverty. These are not true freedoms. True freedom is a society that helps everyone live a full and healthy life. Not just freedom from oppression, but freedom to thrive. We are so far from that dream. To become a bar mitzvah, a son of commitment, is to see injustice and work for a better world.
Amen.
Man, your Uncle Glenn nailed it. That's
A long one.
It was a long one, but
You got a lot to say.
but righteous, right? So here at CRC, we actually in this space, it should be long because this is really important. So we actually include 2 freedom songs. We recognize that, of course, Micha Mocha, the Song of the Sea, may be one of the first songs of liberation, but there have been many, including up to right this moment, in many different languages. So to represent that, after Micha Mocha, we sing Siyahamba, which is in Zulu and was sung during the anti-apartheid movement. And I bring it up because I want everyone to know, but also because Myles told me just recently that, tell me if this is true, your dad
That's
sings
true.
this all the time.
In the car.
So he sings Siyahamba like
In the car.
in the car, right? So it's become part of your family, right?
Yeah,
So Jonathan, we expect to hear. Yeah, okay. Here, pages.
He doesn't have.
No, Myles said he doesn't have to. Yes. So this is freedom too, right? Freedom to go off script a little bit. Pages 13, 14, Micha Mocha, Siyahamba.
Page 13.
Bakodesh, mihi kamocha, baili Madonna, mihi kamocha, neda bakodesh, nora tehilod, o sefer, nora tehilod, o sefer. שירה חדשה, שבגולגולים לשמחה על שפת הים. יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני לא לעולם ועד, 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 אדוני לא לעולם ועד. צאו ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ובטחנו ממך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Siyahamba kukin yen kwenkos, Siyahamba kukin yen kwenkos, Siyahamba Sia hamba kukin yen kwenkos. Sia hamba Sia hamba kukin yen kwenkos. Sia hamba kukin yen kwenkos. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching. We are marching. Ooh, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching. We are marching. Ooh, we are marching in the light of God. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha neda b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha neda b'kodesh.
Please rise. There is a saying, no man is an entire island of itself. Unlike the isolation of an island, people do not stand alone, but are connected to a family of today and the past. Many values and traditions in life come from parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, our ancestors determining in large part who we are.
Page 15. Oh, yeah. While we're introducing, Myles pointed out to me that that wonderful kavanah was written by Myles' great-grandmother, who couldn't be here but is watching from Florida. So help me, want to give a wave to your grandma? Yeah, your great-grandma, amazing. So you are here with us. I know that. As close as Rabbi Karen and I are, we feel your presence, and we are sanctuary for each other.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Uvi Agid, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Uvi Agid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary. Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, V'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rahel, Gibor v'nanoah, Elyon, Gomel hasadim tovim, v'nonei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevii gula livnei v'neihem, l'man shemo v'yahava, mele ozer Moshiach imagin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham v'Ezra Sarah. Together, praise be the God of our ancestors, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, the mayor of Rebekah, of Leah, and of Rachel. Praise be the source of kindness,
courage, the source of kindness and good deeds.
Praise be the source of gentleness and love, of softness and kind words.
Praise be the person who transcends strength through gentleness. Praise be the person who perfects gentleness through strength. Praise be the person who acts according to the best that is within. Praise be the person who reaches out to touch the best in others.
Praise be the gentle faithfulness of Abraham and the valiant strength of Sarah.
Praise be the God created with divinity. Oh, yeah.
We continue on page 17 with the Gevurot, which is all about spiritual strength, which I think of as what fills up your cup, what you draw on in these moments when you really need strength. And you know, I've been thinking a lot about Myles, and one of the ways that I know I get strength is by seeing you and your family and all these wonderful people out there celebrating together. And I love seeing you on Shabbat morning. It's been such a gift. But those are the kinds of things that fill up our cup. So the Gevurot reminds us to think about those things and tap into those things.
Ready?
Atagi burning lamanai, Mekhaye hakorah lehoshia, Mekhaye chayim behesed, Mekhaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech nafim berofei holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem eminato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha al Gevurot, Umidom Elah, Melech Mimid, Umehaye, Umatzliach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot ha'chol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'kol. Today was a difficult day, said Pooh. There was a pause. Do you want to talk about it? asked Piglet. No, said Pooh after a bit. No, I don't think I do. That's okay, said Piglet, and he came and sat beside his friend. What are you doing? asked Pooh. Nothing really, said Piglet. Only I know what difficult days are like. I quite often don't like talking about it on my difficult days either. But goodness, continued Piglet, difficult days are so much easier when you know you've got someone there for you. I'll always be here for you, Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh knew that what we got to do is fill in the spaces between us. That's holiness. Filling in the spaces, right? Between us.
מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, נצח נצחים קידושך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Seated. For me, the joyous Shabbat services can be felt in the music. Music is the language of the Spirit. It opens the secret of life, bringing peace, abolishing strife.
Hey, had you heard that one, Leslie?
No, and I got to tell you, boy, we got a singing crowd here today. You guys are rocking it.
Rabbi Daniel and Leslie and Robert. What did Kahil Gibran said? Music opens the secret of life, bringing peace and abolishing strife.
Amen.
Go for it.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We continue on page 21 with Avodah. This is about looking inward. This is about thinking, connecting inside with yourself, thinking about, it says this line, I love this line, when anxiety makes us tremble and pain clouds our mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. So it's a reminder to check in with ourselves, to tap into that inner voice inside of us and take a moment to listen to it on Shabbat.
שכינתו שכינתו לציון, המחזיר שכינתו לציון, ציון.
Together,
You are with us in our prayer and our love and our doubt, our longing to feel your presence and to do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble and pain clouds our mind, we look inward to the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage and endurance. Let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service.
Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. We can always make the world a better and more peaceful place.
Myles, you do that. You really do. Right?
Thank you.
It's true, right? I think, we all kind of feel being brought closer together because of Myles' spirit. And so in the spirit of shalom, of sim shalom, making peace, in little ways and in big ways, this is our deep prayer for peace. Amen. And Leslie talked about the musicality of this gathering. And so it seems appropriate, right, that for weeks your cousins have been planning to come on up and sing a prayer for peace. So we'll have a short moment of silence while your cousin Charlene and her two daughters, your cousin Rabbi Jen and cousin Leslie, will get ready to sing the concluding prayers before we enter into the Torah service. You can read, we got one more wonderful kavanah from Grandma Carol to read. You could go back as you're singing and look through the other kavanot and the prayers in the Siddur, and let this be more soaking in of the holiness that you all have created, that Myles has created by bringing us together on this Shabbat where he becomes bar mitzvah. Here, Myles, go ahead, hug her. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me pray over there, too, All right, well, Myles, we have sung and prayed and smiled our way to the Torah service, right? So we got a bunch of things we need to do here. There's a lot of kind of rituals around this time, which is really nice. We also get to bring some people up from your life to help us out. So first thing that's going to happen is you're going to ask everyone to...
Please rise.
Yes.
Good job.
And your cousin Sebastian is going to come up and open the doors of our ark. So where's cousin? Oh, there you are. Hey, cousin Sebastian. So 2 doors and there's a curtain. So go ahead. Yeah, you can slide the curtain. Yeah. Keep going. There you go. Yeah, there you go. And then give your cousin a high five or however you want to do that. You can have a seat. All right. Now, next up, we're going to bring some more people who represent the generations, presenting or passing Torah to you. First remember your 2 grandpas of blessed memory, because your grandmas are going to come up here and your parents, and so we have to bring to mind your grandpa Mark and your grandpa Myron, who's already been mentioned because of your talit. So we're thinking about them, and we know that their spirit, their presence is here as well. But right here, 2 grandmas, come on up. Your wonderful parents, come on up, and they're gonna pass this Torah to you. And here's Rabbi Daniel. Grandma's first. There you go.
Myles, I love you. And I love your whole family. And I thought I loved your whole family before today, but oh my God, I love them even more after today. Listening to them all sing and these incredible quotes and this incredible Torah that your family has helped you put into your Siddur. And just watching you up here, you are shining, my friend. I love it. I love it. This is where you're supposed to be. So in a moment, we're going to give you the Torah. We're going to pass this to you. But there's a story I want you to know first. And the story says, just before God was about to give us the Torah at Mount Sinai, just before that moment, God had second thoughts. Looked out and saw us and said, "Oy, this people. I'm not sure they deserve the Torah." So God says, okay, who will be your guarantors? Who can we trust in that will make it worthwhile to hand us the Torah? And we looked back at God and we said, our guarantors will be the heavens and the earth. And as your cousin said, God looked back at us and said, you know what? If you don't treat the earth right, it's not going to be here forever. And so we said, our guarantors will be our ancestors. And Myles, you come from such incredible ancestors. Your parents and your grandparents and the so many generations before you and these cousins. But God looked over and said, those ancestors have used up all of their credit. And so finally we looked and we said, it's the next generation that will be our guarantors. It's you and your generation, Myles, that gives us hope. And it can be hard some of these days to look out at the world and to have hope, but I think all we got to do is listen to you and look at you and hear your Torah. And we know that we are ready to pass this to you, that we are ready for you and your generation to lead us as you have led us so beautifully today. So we're going to pass this Torah to you literally through these generations as we hand you what is most sacred and precious and true to us, knowing that you are the hope giver.
You're okay. Okay. Okay? All right, so Myles, you can take that off. Take it off. Yeah. There you go.
It's hooked all the way through.
Well, all right, we got you, man. That's.
Hang on 1 second. Can you unbutton that?
Excuse us.
You gotta unbutton that.
The Torah,
There we go.
the scroll, literally survived the Shoah, the Holocaust, so that we could demonstrate louder than words that the Jewish people survived to keep on bringing our message of peace. You got it? You ready now? Okay.
All right, there we go.
There. Better?
Much better.
Okay. Let's sing the Shema. So one more time, because this is a time of listening and learning and receiving, and led by Myles. One more time.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh Shema.
So if everyone will put their books down, another chance to hold on. Oh, you can go. Just another chance to dance and to celebrate with Myles and community and Torah. We're going to do some singing and clapping, and eventually John Sammett's going to join us on fiddle. So more music. So in the words of the ancient Hebrew prophets, we say, hit it!
Yum diddy dum diddy di di, yum diddy dum diddy do, yum diddy dum diddy di di, ya da 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 do, yum diddy dum diddy di di, yum
Looking for
diddy
Pam
dum
and
diddy
Barry. Where's Pam and
do,
Barry?
yum diddy dum diddy di di, ya da da do, yum diddy dum diddy di di, yum diddy dum diddy di da do, yum diddy dum diddy di di, ya da da do. Yum diddy dum diddy da da, yum diddy dum diddy da do, yum diddy dum diddy da da, ya da da do, yum diddy dum diddy da da, yum diddy dum diddy do, yum diddy dum diddy da da, ya da da do, yum diddy dum diddy da da, yum diddy dum diddy do, yum diddy dum diddy da da, ya da da do. Yum diddy dum diddy di di, ya da ya da da yo.
right, Myles, we are here. You found your spot in the Torah from this Torah portion as we march through the wilderness in the book of Bamidbar and the book of Numbers. And you're going to be reading from the portion this Shabbat. You can follow along with Myles on page 25 in both the Hebrew, although as most of you, many of you know, the Hebrew that Myles is reading doesn't have the vowels, the helping letters, as we learned in elementary school. The way that Torah is written, it keeps to its ancient practice of not having vowels. So with his wonderful teacher Golda right there on the aisle, Myles learned to learn Hebrew all through his life, and then learned the special type of reading Hebrew from the Torah with his wonderful tutor Golda. And to give you a helping hand, one more helping hand for you, Golda gave you a yad, which is literally the word for hand, but also a tool that helps us track ourselves as we read from the Torah without touching and smudging it. So thank you, Golda, Yasher Koach. That's Chevruta. I bet you guys became fast friends. Yeah, I've no doubt. No doubt. So we want to make sure as you do this for us, Myles, that we kind of fill this bima with more people from your life. And so the first aliyah consists of your cousin Ellen, cousin Hal, cousin Bryna, Uncle Glenn, and Aunt Jenny. Ya'amdu Eliana bat Ruvain ve'Yehudit zikronam levracha ve'Chaim Pinchas ben Reuven ve'Yehudit zikronam levracha ve'Bryna bat Ruvain ve'Yehudit zikronam levracha ve'Eliezer ben Matityahu zikrono levracha ve'Chaya and Jenny Aliyah. And this is your wonderful family behind you who are going to chant the blessing before your first aliyah on page 25. Whenever you're ready.
Baruch et Adonai HaMorach. Baruch Adonai HaMorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Uvyom Hakim Etamishkan Kisa Hanan Etamishkan Elhel Haedut Uvaerev Ihiyeh Ahamishkan Kamari Eish Ad Belker Ken Yehiyeh Tamid Hanan Yechasenu Umar Eish Laila Ulfi Hiyalot Hanan Me'al Ha'ohel V'nacharihin Yisu B'nei Yisrael Uvimkom Asher Yishkan Sham Hanan Sham Yachanu B'nei Yisrael.
Nice job. And the blessing after. On the next page.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet. V'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yesh koach. Okay. Gonna keep you guys up here, but we're gonna have you joined by this amazing group, another amazing group for the second aliyah, so kind of make room for them. This again is Grandma Carol and Grandma Nancy and your dad Jonathan, your mom Stephanie. Ya'amdu Chaya bat Yitzchak zikrono livracha v'liba v'nechama Leah bat Yaakov Tzi v'Fredo zikronam livracha v'Yehuda Simcha Ben Chayim Mordechai, Zikrono Livracha, V'Nachama Leah, V'Cheinacha, Bat Matityahu, Zikrono Livracha, V'Chaya. That's all you, that roll call. Aliyah Sheni.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Al pi Adonai Yisu b'nei Yisrael, be'al pi Adonai Yachanu kol yemei. Asher yishkon Hanan el hamishkan Yachanu Varich Hanan el Hamishkan Yamim Rabim V'shameru B'nei Yisrael Emishmer Adonai V'lo Yisa'u V'yesh Asher Yihye Hanan Yamim Mispar Al Hamishkan Al pi Adonai Yachanu, be'al pi Adonai Yisa'u.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So I'm going to have everyone but your mom and dad take their seats, but first you can give them some nachas. There, yeah, that's right. Because we're preparing for Myles. I suggest a poncho. Long time ago, my wife Amy gave this to me for my 40th birthday because she loves me, but also because she was tired of my talit constantly falling off my shoulders. And then on my 50th birthday at Bryn's bat mitzvah, right? I received another poncho. So you can never have too many ponchos, Myles. Look at that. Your dad knows what to do. There he goes. So hold on, because I want to call you to the Torah. So your parents are right behind you. And Rabbi Karen is here, Rabbi Daniel in the congregation, Rabbi Susan is sending all her love to you and this whole congregation and people who are watching and people who couldn't be here, but just know something special is happening in the Central West End today, you becoming bar mitzvah. So Myles, it is an honor as one of your rabbis, and we've gotten to know each other this year through the 7th grade class doing mitzvahs. So I know you know how to do mitzvahs with heart and soul, right? Helping the world. So I'm going to call you to the Torah to finish up your passage using that beautiful Hebrew name that we've heard about already, Mordechai Aharon. Named for one of your great-grandfathers of blessed memory, Mordechai. And Myles said to me, one of the things we did in 7th grade is we put on a skit during Purim for all the younger CRC kids at the Purim Carnival. And afterwards, Myles said, well, my name is Mordechai. I should have been Mordechai. So next year, you'll come back. You'll make a special appearance. All right, so, and also your Hebrew name contains the Hebrew names of your dad and your mom, which is very special to carry forward. So, to call you to Torah as a bar mitzvah, one who has inspired and enlightened our congregation already, and there's even more to come. I will now call you to the Torah so you can make the blessings and chant the rest of your portion. Ya'amod Mordechai Aharon ben Yehuda Simcha v'cheinacha Aliyah l'Torah bar ha-mitzvah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. V'yesh asher yehiyeh hanan me'erev ad boker v'na'ala hanan boker v'nasa'u al yom ha'amvala v'na'ala hanan v'nasa'u O Yomayim, O Kodesh, O Yamim, Uparik Hanan, O Hamishkan, Lishkon Alav, Hanan, B'nei Israel, Below Yisrael. Ve'aloto Yisrael al pi Adonai Shamaru Achanu al pi Adonai Yisrael Emishmeret Adonai Shamaru al pi Adonai B'yad Moshe.
Blessing after. Yad Moshe.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hei olam natan b'toheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Turn around. So, once again, our hearts have been opened wide by words of Torah, read so spiritedly. And so this is in the service, this is our time to insert a prayer for healing. So we have a whole list of people that we're praying for, people we love, people that people tell us to pray for, people, whoever needs prayers. We put them on our list, but the list is, it's not, the list keeps going even after the written words. We've run out of words or names, but I know you all have names as well. I have names, we have names. So people who could use healing in your lives might be one of you, oftentimes we say healing of body, but also mind and spirit too. So I know this has been a healing moment. It has been for me. We want to sing together a prayer that is not limited. There's no boundaries. So let it go to everyone who needs healing, whether you know them or you'll never meet them. Anyone who's suffering, anyone who's ill, we keep them in our thoughts and our prayers. And we're on page 27, Misha Barach. Stay right here for a second. Felt us. So thank you, Myles, for leading us in prayer. The Chatimah that we hope and pray seals it for those we love before we move on with the Haftorah, and Myles' wonderful commentary is on the bottom of that page 27. So we say, Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed is the Holy One who helps us find ways of bringing healing to those who are ill, those who are mourning, those who are suffering, those who are sick. And let us say, And now is the Haftorah section of the Torah service. This long time ago, Myles, we met for the first time for the bar mitzvah, and we talked about why the rabbis picked, Zechariah, passage from that prophet to match your Torah portion. And I remember looking at it with you and studying it with you, and here we are right in front of it. And so on page 28 is the blessing before reading Haftorah, which Myles will recite, and then the actual Haftorah. Also on page 28, the section of the Haftorah, and then the blessing that follows on page 29. And then we'll all sit back, put our books down, and be taught. We've been being schooled by you the whole service, right? But now we're really going to learn from you how you put all this together. That's your Devar Torah. So everyone just get comfortable, and Myles, this rest is up to you here. So let's hear the blessing and the Haftorah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav v'direhem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah v'mashavdo v'sa'el mo v'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek rani v'simhech b'tzion ki haneneva b'shanti b'tohek nun Adonai hen yavu goyim rabim Adonai bayom hahu hiyayuli le'am b'shanti b'tohek hiyadat kadonai sevot shahani elai v'nahal Adonai and Yehudat helko al atmat hakodesh ki neor b'Yerushalayim has kobasar mibnei Adonai ki neor mimon kocho. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Sorkol halahamim sadik b'chol hadorot hal hane'eman haomer ve'oseh hamdabir umkayim shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah v'yahavodah ahavim v'yom haShabbat hazeh shenatan lanu Adonai Eloheinu Likdusha v'nimnuha lahafod utifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anaknu modim leah uvarhim otah yibarach shimcha b'fi kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Nedesh HaShabbat.
Slow, remember? Okay. All right. Deep breath. Yeah, that was a good one. All right.
My Torah portion is called Behalatecha. It is in the book of Numbers. The Jews are wandering in the desert after escaping slavery in Egypt. A lot of you are familiar with this in the Passover story. In the part you heard me chant, it talks about how the former slaves were following a cloud of smoke that was controlled by God, that told them where to go and when they could leave in the morning and stop at night. The portion continues to talk about how the Jewish people were whining, that they didn't have any meat to eat, and they said, "Oh, why did we ever leave Egypt?" The portion continues to talk about how the Jewish people were whining, that they didn't have any meat to eat, and they said, sorry about that. God felt really angry at this because God was bringing them to freedom and they were complaining. So God decided to punish them. God gives them so much quail to eat that the people who had the craving choked on the quail and died. Some of you might be surprised to hear that the Jews were complaining, given that God had thus them out of slavery in Egypt. They were no longer under constant watch by the slave masters, and they didn't have to worry about being whipped. But I could also see how it would feel harder wandering in the desert for 40 years than being a slave. You wouldn't know where to go, and you would have no proper meals. I would have been whining too, but they also should have remembered that they were free and that they didn't have to deal with being bossed around anymore. They no longer had to live by the Pharaoh's rules, and while it is not always easy to be free, human beings are meant to be controlled. We should all be allowed to become who we are meant to be. I think it's okay to complain, but you need to think of the impact your complaint would have on others. The complainer should acknowledge the efforts of the other party. Instead of saying something so extreme as they wish they were slaves again, they could have said, "Thank you so much for helping us, but we don't like the food we've been given." For example, when I was working on this speech, I complained I didn't want to do it. Instead of saying that, I could have said to my mom at the time, "Thank you for the help on writing this speech, but I'm really hungry right now. Can we pause so I can eat some lunch?" I understand why God was mad. God was helping them while they were complaining over and over again. I think this punishment was too extreme. In my opinion, it is never okay to murder someone unless they're a threat to you. In the Ten Commandments, it literally says that it's not okay to murder people. So, God making a situation where people died is basically disobeying the Ten Commandments that God wrote. Instead of killing the people, God could have respected the thoughts and feelings of the Jews and not taken things so personally. One idea that I had was that God could have given the Jews tasks that could have earned them the privilege of eating meat. Through their hard work, they could learn they don't automatically get what you want. You have to work for it. After all, even though they complained, these are the people who did keep going and made it possible to get closer to the promised land. A real-life example of this is when I got a 75% on a science test. My parents weren't happy. Instead of a punishment, I had to study really hard to retake it. Through my hard work, I had a perfect grade, a 100%. To summarize, the Torah portion I read made me think about complaining and why we should consider what effect our words could have on people. Also, the portion can make us all remember that if someone says something to you that you don't like, you can respectfully tell them that what they said hurt your feelings. I hope that all of us use our precious freedom to get better at thinking before we speak. Shabbat Shalom.
That was a perfect speech. That was beautiful, Myles, and so heartfelt. And thank you for sharing your Torah with all of us here this morning. So I love that you talked about the whining and complaining, because you're right. There's a lot of that in this week's Torah portion, isn't there?
Yeah, right.
And do you know what happens a little later in the Torah portion? What they do? So they appoint leadership, right? So after all this whining and complaining, towards the end of this week's parsha, they appoint new leadership to help guide the people. Kind of sounds like what you're doing here, right?
That's right.
By becoming a bar mitzvah, you are joining the leadership side, right? Like, you're responsible now for doing these mitzvot and fulfilling these commandments. Whatever speaks to you, it's your responsibility. And I can say that having you added to the leadership side might help with the whining and complaining, but it definitely helps fill our souls with your joy. You lead with such joy. And I love how you've just been singing and participating in this service. You've given us so much to think about, so much to learn from you. This is your Torah. You wrote this, so we get to learn from you this morning, and we get to add your voice to the long line of people who have spoken about Torah. So I know you've never whined or complained, but I think it's a beautiful lesson for us all. That, the opposite of that is taking initiative and taking control and not complaining, but doing what we need to do to fix the problem. And I think by you becoming a bar mitzvah and leading us this morning, you are being a part of fixing the problem. All your joy and love, it just emanates from you. And we are so grateful to have you as part of the leadership and to be a full bar mitzvah.
Thank you.
Mazel tov. You want to help me do the Shechianu?
Yeah.
You want to do it?
We'll do it together. So here, you know what, this might be just
Over-
the right spot for that for now, right? That feel good? Right. So Rabbi Karen and I are gonna sing a Shechianu for this holy moment that you've allowed us to share, but that really is, hopefully, elevates you. I kind of had this sense like you know what this looks like from up close because when you're in the streaming booth, right? They kind of zoom in, right? Which is because it's a nice kind of personal moment, and it's a blessing for now. So Myles, think about everything that this moment of Bar Mitzvah has meant to you. We're going to think how appreciative we are of you for filling the space with holiness. So we'll sing this blessing to you. You ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed is the Holy One whose presence fills creation, who gave us our lives and who kept us alive and who brought you to this moment, Lazman Hazeh. I believe the world is now a better place, Myles, because you stepped up, right, and did what you needed to do and what we asked for you to do to become a bar mitzvah, a son of this tradition that I know will be part of your life as you enter the teenage years and adulthood. We can't wait to see what's next for you. So let us say amen.
Amen.
So we want to keep on giving you blessings. We want to keep giving you blessings, and our congregation, our executive director, Sonia Van, is here, and members of CRC are here, and David Newberger is here, who's a member of our board of directors, who's going to come up to give you words of appreciation and gifts from the congregation CRC that is so happy that you and your family are part of our family. So here comes David. Yeah.
Myles, it's been a delight hearing from you and seeing you in operation today. And the reflection this day of the whole family, the whole community that you're a part of. And I think that's a very important part of what we've talked about today, that we are in a community. And you now have joined the community because I can give you as evidence of that a certificate of bar mitzvah that you should keep with you, and of course you'll be part of the records throughout the years. And then I have another gift. Yeah, and this is, we call this a gift as tzedakah. I got it. My Hebrew is not as good as his. The point of this gift is to engender with you a sense of the obligation to that community I spoke of a minute ago. One of the ways that we are doing that is that we are planting 2 trees in your honor, one in a Palestinian area and one in a Israeli area, a Jewish area. They're both Israeli. Yeah. And we, one of our hopes is that those 2 trees will bring together the 2 communities so that they can live in justice and peace and in democracy. And further, this is for you about tzedakah, because our goal is to make sure that you always remember that we need to contribute to the community. We need to provide support, not only financially and materially, but also with our hearts and our bodies. So carry on, and congratulations.
Thank you, David. You can shake his hand. There you go. Thank you, David. Yashikah and Shabbat Shalom. Well, Myles, now we're going to put the Torah away, and we generally make sure that we're all respectful of that moment. So everyone is seated should what?
Please rise.
Yeah. Yes. We are on page 30. Can I have Sebastian come back up? There he is. And open the doors of the ark once again. You can stay up here to close them in a minute. There you go. You guys are all so full of energy, this family. And then Pam and Barry, who helped us get the Torah ready to be read, will now come up and help us prepare to put the Torah away. The rest of us are together on page 30 with the words of the proverb from the Hebrew Bible that tells us that Torah is a living tree of life, something that Myles demonstrated through his leading our prayer, chanting from Torah, and telling us how Torah can relate to our lives right here, right now. You want to sit down this time? Yeah, sure.
Chaim lemal chazikim ba v'tomkeha be'usha tiracheha gachenoa v'chol nativoteha Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Benashuva Chadesh Chadesh Amenu Chadesh Amenu
Remain standing. We're on page 31, and Rabbi Karen and Myles and I are going to turn and face the ark that members of his family just helped put the Torah away into, and together we will chant the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach. This way. Yep. Aleinu L'Shabeach Ladon Hakol Lategedola Yotzer Breshit Shalo Asame Kegoye Haratzot V'lo Samanu Kemishpachot Adama Shalo Sam Chelkenu Kahem V'gor Aleinu Kecho Hamonam V'anachnu Korim Umishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Notei Shamayim V'yosed Aretz Umoshav Yikarol B'Shamayim Mima'al Ushchinat Uzo B'Gov Hei Meromim Hu Eloheinu Ein Od Emet Malkeinu Efez Zulato Hakatuv B'Torato V'yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mima'al ve'al haaretz mitachat ein od v'ne'emar v'hayam Adonai Bayom ha'il, Yeh Adonai Ahad, Yishemau Echad.
Tell everybody to.
Please be seated.
So we take a few moments at the end of our service to remember those people who are no longer with us, whose memories we hold within us. I'm going to have Myles share his families, and then we'd like to recognize some people in the congregation.
Today I'd like to remember my Grandpa Mark, my Great Aunt Jo, and my Grandpa Myron. No, Didier and my Grandpa Myron, who I was named after and never met.
Thank you, Myles. So, if If you are in a period of mourning, whether you've recently lost a loved one, whether it's Shloshim, the 30 days, or the first year, or if you're just really thinking of someone and you want to share their name, I ask that you please rise so we can recognize you and be there beside you. So I'd like to just start with Rabbi Randy and Amy. Rabbi Randy's mom passed away this week, and we're sending so much love to the two of you and to Gabe and Zoe. We know she was such a special person, and we really are there with you, standing beside you, and we love you guys, and we will support you.
My mom, and his mother-in-law, and our kids, mama, and friend, and life-changing Dr. Luca.
Thanks, Randy. So we will take a minute to go around and let people share names, and then I will share all the names that I have up here for our congregation. So we'll start on this side.
My brother-in-law, Larry Glenn, is 1 year today.
Oh, may his memory be a blessing. Thanks for sharing his name with us.
Hilda Polsky lived to be 104.
Wow.
She died last Shabbos.
Oh, yep, she's on my list. Thank you for sharing her name. May her memory be a blessing. Toby?
My cousin Grandma Child and my sister Stephanie.
For your cousin and your sister. Thanks for being here and sharing their names with us.
My dad, Bill Shapiro, been 10 years now.
For your dad. Thank you.
My mother, Rachel Badlea, Ruth Klein, passed away this past February.
Thank you. Thank you for, may her memory be a blessing.
My creator, and this last week, my son-in-law's mother, Andy Lehman.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing their names. The Sintners? For your husband, David. So glad you're getting a big hug. May his memory be a blessing, Joy, to all of you. Thanks for sharing his name. In the back. Oh. Thank you. For your husband, Paul. Thanks for sharing his name. Yona. Thank you. May his memory be a blessing. Say that again? Your birth mother. Thanks for sharing her name and remembering her.
For my wife's uncle, Paul Lewis, and for her father, Chuck Snickers.
Thank you. May their memories be a blessing. In the back? For your father, yes. I know you've said a lot of Kaddish for him, so thanks for being here again. And for your husband, Paul Michel, may his memory be a blessing. Oh, I love that. I love that. Thanks for sharing his name. Auntie? For your mom. Yeah, for your mom. May all their memories be a blessing. Thanks, Nancy. Yeah.
My cousin Renee Neal moved to Lafayette.
We love Renee. Yep.
Her headstone dedication is this weekend.
Yeah, thank you for sharing her name. There's lots of love for Renee in here, so thanks for remembering her. Give me 1 second, Myles, okay? Over here. For your mom, thanks for remembering her. May her memory be a blessing. Hadass. For your father, may his memory be a blessing. I love seeing all your kiddos here too, so hopefully he's been a blessing to all of you. Did I miss anybody? Okay, Michael from the stream. Helen Rothschild, thank you. Thanks for sharing her name. Did I miss anybody before I share congregational names? Okay. So we have a few names from the congregation. Of course, we have Hilda Polsky, Linda Randall, of course, Aaron Coleman, Josephine Frances Del Prior, who is Josette Hockman's mom, Jared's mother-in-law, and Ben and Angela's grandmother. We have Matthew Blickenstaff, Harriet's son, Beverly Bronwyn McWilliams, Marjorie Shepard, Lee Sue Smith, Dr. Moisey Shopper, Marcia Wafsey, Bob Sparks, Ben Neiman, we said Paul Michel, Lois Loomstein, We said Claude Lewis. We said Gloria Sirkin and Maurice Guller, David Adelstein, Bert Newman, Lois Chait, Nikki Nymark, Bruce Schneider, Daniel Williams, Paul Schumer, we said, Clarence Bear Robinson, Larry Mange. Those are all people who have passed away this past year. And then this Shabbat, we remember the yardzites, the anniversary of the deaths of Michael Dubin, Joan Wilder Jordan, John Vogel, Kate W. Canefield, Norman Digger Roth, Sonia Schulman, Alan Permut, Anita Stone Resnikoff, Ben Chick Kweskin, Joseph J. Vygotsky, Dolores Brown, Elva Schneider, Fern Weissman, Jan Feiner, Janet K. Williams, Jerry Levy, Kent Hutman, Kuther T. Klein, David Paul Sternick, Israel Berkowitz, John E. Cavender, Louis Weintraub, Leon Gervich, Leslie Moore, M. Gilly Reifer, Morris Lazaroff, and Paul Kalemis. We say, Zichronah Livracha, may the memories of all those that we are thinking of and all those that we mourn be a blessing. If we could ask everybody else to please rise as we join with our mourners. We are on page 33 for the Mourners Kaddish. Yid Gadol v'yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudasha, v'chu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma, v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, oseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imeru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and we say Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Really special people. I think Myles is going to want you to come on up here, but come on up. We have a special blessing from Myles' parents now. No whining. You're going to stand up here for your parents.
Hi, Myles. Daddy took the tissue box because we're all taking bets on how many times I'm going to cry during this speech, but I'm going to try it. Okay, here we go. School has never been easy for you. It's hard to stay focused, and writing is so tough. We didn't sign you up for religious school right away because we didn't want to give you added pressure. We're always trying to find the balance between how much to push you and how much to cut you some slack and let you chill out to your favorite YouTubers. But you really wanted a bar mitzvah, and we should not have been surprised. You've always loved Jewish ritual. You were excited to dress up fancy and go to high holiday services since you were a toddler, bopping up and down to the songs in your seat. You love lighting the Shabbat candles at Grandma Nancy's. You love the Hanukkah candles themselves nearly as much as the presents, and you practically run our Passover Seder. When we asked if you wanted to put in the work, with the footnote that it would be a lot of work to read from the Torah at your bar mitzvah, you gave it some thought, and you said yes. I'm not going to say that it came easy and that you just sat down and studied all the time once you set your mind to it. But with a lot of nudging and the help of incredible and patient tutors, thanks to Charlene and Golda, you all are amazing, Rabbi Randy and your father and his Hebrew day school education, you did it. And not just halfway, you really did it, all of it. And here we go. And as you knew you would, you crushed it. When you were little, you had a stuffed animal that I called Blue Horse. Jonathan says it's a giraffe, but you and I refuse to believe it. And we played a game where we talked about obstacles in life. The horse would walk up to an obstacle. Maybe it was a giant blanket on the floor. And we'd talk about all the ways the horse could handle the obstacle. It could jump over it. It could tunnel through it. It could go around it. It could climb on Cookie Monster and take a leap. There were so many possibilities that we would come up with. Back then, and today too, I wanted you to remember that you can do anything. And by taking on this obstacle that nobody asked you to, and learning so much, and reading slowly and clearly, and getting in front of this giant crowd, in addition to dealing with the schoolwork that piled up in 7th grade, you showed me that you get it. To say I'm proud would be an understatement. I know that sometimes taking on challenging things feels like too much. It all starts to become overwhelming. When that happens from now on, I want you to, of course, remember the horse and Daddy getting frustrated saying it's a giraffe. But also remember today and what you did. You've proven what I've always known, that when you put your mind to something, you can do it. I can't wait to see what you put your mind to next. You're going to do great things in this next chapter of life. I love you so much. You're up.
I thought about getting a picture of this to prove that it's a giraffe, but I didn't do that. So, Myles. This is my parental blessing, also a toast, also a roast. But don't blame me if you don't like it. It may have been entirely written by ChatGPT. All right. So you just heard from Mom about how proud we both are of you for committing to doing the bar mitzvah service and for following through. And you really showed us, and hopefully yourself, that you're more than capable of doing that when something is important to you. Unlike folding laundry or getting the house on time in the morning. But you deserve to be incredibly proud of yourself. Now, I want to share something about you. That's the subject of the rest of this blessing toast roast. I actually told Mom that I was writing about this topic when you first decided that you wanted to have the bar mitzvah celebration. I knew I would have to give a speech. So I want the congregation and all of our friends and family who came far and wide to be here, especially all those people who haven't interacted all that much with you, to learn a little bit about you. You, my wonderful son, are loud. When you were a baby, I could hear you cry no matter where in the world I was. Mostly, I was at home, and this was at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and 4 a.m. when you got hungry. You also got hungry throughout the day, and loudly let me and your mom know that. At least that's what I always thought the crying was about. And when you were a little older and had a highly questionable sleep schedule, you'd come into our bathroom with a toy drum and bang on it loudly at 3 o'clock in the morning. So when your sleeping became somewhat normal, you'd wake up loudly calling for me to come and get you so we could hang out together. Very, very early in the morning, playing, reading, and snuggling. As you got even older, you started playing the electronic drums loudly. You play the keyboard loudly. The floor literally shakes as you bang on it. Even though you have volume-limiting headphones for both of those instruments, we can somehow hear them in the other room and upstairs. You play the xylophone loudly and have broken a number of mallets to prove that point. You sing and you clap loudly, and you showed everyone today. And you also do that in very confined spaces. So You watch YouTube videos and you play computer games and you do board games loudly. You're definitely loud when you're procrastinating instead of doing homework. And impossibly, you're often loud during those rare occasions when you're doing nothing at all. But at the same time, you are loud about sharing your many interests, from space to sports to politics, loud about asking questions, loud about having fun, and loud about saying something when you notice something wrong. You're loud about calling out injustice, and you encourage others to be loud about it too. Like when you were raised up high on my shoulders carrying a sign at a protest. You remember that? Your smile is loud. You have a contagious, loud energy about you. You're wonderfully loud when you laugh, which happens easily. And we are all so fortunate that you are loud about frequently telling the people you love just how much you love them. Being loud when appropriate can be a very powerful tool. It can get you noticed for good and bad. It can motivate and inspire everyone around you. It can call people to attention and bring about change. As you grow and mature, I hope you continue to find areas to channel your loudness, your enthusiasm, and zest for life. May you use your loudness to make yourself, those around you, and the world a better place. I love you, and I'm so proud of what you've done and who you are.
Thank you, Daddy.
Stay right here. All right, Myles, nice and strong. Tell everyone for the final time in this service they should.
Please rise.
Hold this cup. He's all right. He's all right. Cup with sweetness that symbolizes for us holiness. And you've allowed all of us to drink in holiness symbolically. And because you've done all the work up here, you're going to drink it in literally. And so we're going to make the blessing. And all of us are just going to kind of spend a little bit more time in this sweet place that you've brought us to, this sweet spiritual place. You ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen? And l'chaim, to life. All right, buddy. Yeah? Yeah, that seems like a CRC made challah, I'll bet you.
Yeah, we actually made a 13-strand challah. We did.
You guys made this?
No, we made a 13-strand. It's out there.
Oh, okay.
The 13-strand challah out there.
So everybody's invited to have some food and continue celebrating Shabbat and Myles' bar mitzvah in the Oneg room and sort of the area around it. There is another program going on in the multi-purpose room. So just so everyone knows, there's going to be people for that and people for this, but we get the big circle room because we want to all feel connected to each other and to Myles. And so Myles, before you get a bite of that, let's make a blessing, right? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lahem min haaretz. Amen. You get the first bite, and then we'll bring it out so everyone else can appreciate it, along with your 13-strand challah. There you go. Yeah, share with your parents. Okay.
It's really good.
Yes, it is. It's really good. You just said it all. We're going to make a blessing. Amongst us is our next bat mitzvah, which is a Havdalah bat mitzvah, but I want to make sure it's the first one of our rising 7th graders. Liv is back there. We're excited for you, Liv, to become bat mitzvah. And we have one more member of Myles' 7th grade class. Where's Isaac? Isaac and his older brother, Samson, younger brother. Isaac and his younger brother Samson are having a B'nai Mitzvah in the fall, but Isaac was in our 7th grade class with Myles. Samson will be in it, I guess, in the fall. So we put our arms around each other, and our latest bar mitzvah, Myles. And we want to make sure that we don't leave this sanctuary without words of peace and love. Thanks to your cousins and Rabbi Jen, who sang so beautifully. You know, really, really appreciated that. Thank you for doing that. Let's make this blessing. Right from the same Torah you chanted from the same book of the Torah. This blessing lives even outside of the scroll, we say. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless and keep you and every single one of you and beyond. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
And Myles, may we each take some of the energy and the love and the light and the loudness that you bring, and may we spread it out into this world.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh lecha shalom.
And above all else, may we not be the whiners and the complainers, but may we be a part of the solution. May we all be blessed with peace and love and joy. And we say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and Mazel Tov to Myles.
Simen Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova, Simen Tova, 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 Simen Tova, Mazel Tova, Mazel Tova, Simen Tova,
Nice.
Myles told me the first thing he said to me was,